Hello, I am Gregory the Poor Typist, and this might be a pen-related video. I'm not sure. Anyway, yes. So, a lot of fountain pen channels have a regular video that they do called Pens in Use, or Inked Pens, or a variety of other names. So I thought I would jump on the bandwagon, and also this serves as a record for me, knowing what pens and inks I currently am using. I have it all written right down here on my Rhodia pad. So without further ado, let's get right down to it. I was able to retire, I believe, 5 pens that either, well, one of them just is bad. The Schaefer Viewpoint, it's just bad, so I'm retiring that, even though it has plenty of ink in it. And then the 4 others ran out of ink, so yeah, exciting. And I inked up a couple pens to replace those. I have 10 pens inked up right now, and I think that's a good number. Yeah, provide enough variety for my journal, and be able to use a variety of colors and pen experiences. So anyway, all right, so the first one here is the Jinhao 992. Just a cheap, very cheap pen actually, but they really work well. I have, you can probably tell, I have 2 of them here. And I love them for their stub nibs, or yeah, stub nibs basically. So this one here is the Jinhao 992, 1.9 millimeters, and it is loaded with Diplomat Caribbean Blue. I love that ink color. That might be one that I have to purchase, because that is wonderful. I mean, just look at that. That's beautiful. Yes, and I think it's perfect to have a nice bright color like that in a stub nib. Then even bigger than the 1.9, we have the 2.5, and again, we have a perfect color combination for this one. We have the diamine graphite, and when I had diamine graphite in just one of my regular pens, it was probably a fine nib. It didn't look anything like graphite to me. It just looked black. But I figured if I put it in a stub nib, it's going to show those grays more, and sure enough, it does beautifully. So very happy about that. All right. A fairly recent addition to my collection is the TWSBI Go. I had been wanting one of these for a long time. I love basically just the push button fill system. Perfect. And this one I actually have a very light ink in it, which is Krishna Kanikana. Yeah. All right. Then we have the Moonman M2. Very nice pen. It's very basic, but I think a big part of these demonstrator Moonman pens especially, or eyedropper pens, is being able to see the ink in there. That's wonderful. I don't know if you can make out that bubble, but anyway, that's the Moonman M2, and in that we have Noodler's Antietam, which is a very nice red. Yeah, almost like an earthy red, if there is such a thing. All right, and then next up we have the Moonman S5. It looks like it says 55, but it's the Moonman S5. What I like about this one, because a lot of these Moonmans don't have clips, and so they just roll around, but this one actually has a roll stop there. And this one my wife got for me, and I was so shocked that she got me a fountain pen for Christmas. It was just completely unexpected, and this thing is beautiful. She did a great job choosing it. And prior to this, Moonman was on my wish list, so I wanted one badly, and she gave it to me. I was like, did she read my mind? Oh yeah. So that one is loaded with Diamine Sherwood Green, which is actually a very dark green, especially in this this broad nib. It comes out very, very dark. At times it looks black, and I actually love that about it. So yeah, very, very nice. A very interesting pen is the Monteverde Ritma. First of all, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I love the design of it, the color. It was interesting, the the metal parts were originally a much more chrome looking, and when you handle them, they get this like instant patina. It's very, very strange. In the video where I unboxed this, it's like it was seriously like I was painting the pen with just by touching it. It's really, really bizarre. The standout feature of this one is the magnetic cap, and it is magnetic on both ends. I love that. Great feature, but the nib does dry out. So that's unfortunate, but that's a really great feature. And this one we have loaded up with Private Reserve Tanzanite. I like it. It does have some shading actually. Yeah, it does. There's parts of it that almost look black. All right, one of the new ones that I inked up is this one. And this one, I couldn't even find a video on YouTube for it. The Dexy Executive fountain pen. And I should have written down the wood, the type of wood. Anyway, but I love it because it's, first of all, I love brass pens. So it combines brass with wood. That just looks very, very nice. Very nice. I love that. And I love how it tapers down like this. A beautiful, beautiful pen. It is an extreme, well, admittedly, this is probably an extra fine. I think I couldn't see a designation on there. But anyway, it's either fine or extra fine. But let me tell you, it is a dry writer. Very, very dry. And yet it's fairly smooth. It does have considerable feedback. It's not scratchy, but it has considerable feedback that kind of makes it sound like you're writing with a pencil. So if that gives you a good idea. I do really like it, and it seems like the more I use it, the more satisfying it is to write with it. When I first started using it, I was like, oh boy, I might have to empty this and just not use it. And it's one I picked up from Truffet, truffetink.com. it was in their clearance section. So it was under $8. So that was a great deal on that one. It looks amazing. And we have that loaded up with Stipula Calamo Ebony Black. Yeah, very nice. All right, now this is well, I was gonna say this is the latest edition, but that's not quite right because the white one here is actually newer, but a very recent edition, we'll put it that way. As soon as I saw this, I knew I had to have it, and I mean, look at it. it's stubby, but it's super thick, like almost like a oh, I forget what they call those short fat cigars. But it does remind me of a cigar, and the nib on it is huge. It's certainly a I'm bad with the the measurements, but that has to be a number 6 nib. Yeah, I was thrilled with this, and I got it in the brown because I love brown and orange pens, and yeah, and yet it's translucent as well. So, and I mean, look at this. That's just beautiful. That's beautiful. Beautiful fat pen. Now, I enjoy, a nice thick pen just because it's better for my arthritis. So this is perfect for that. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. And this one is loaded up with Monteverde Joy. Now, I do have to say, Monteverde Joy is, just looking at it, is very close to Noodler's Antietam, but Noodler's Antietam definitely leans into red, or is technically red, whereas Monteverde Joy is certainly brown, and yet they look similar. So I was toying with the idea of not using it, but I love my brown inks, so I decided to load up the Q1 with that, and you kind of have to because it's a brown bodied pen, so there's certain colors that you would expect to come out of it, right? Oh, let's see, where are we? Okay, now this one's on its last legs. I have really enjoyed this pen. The look of it, the feel of it, the weight of it. I never thought I would love a red pen so much. It's really amazing, actually. And it's on its last few drops of ink, but it's still hanging in there, so it made it onto the page there. And that is just loaded with the Schaefer Black, the proprietary cartridge that it came with. So, and the last one, which is the most recent pen to the collection, is actually kind of a cheat. It's actually a felt tip, or as they sometimes call them, porous points. But it does use fountain pen ink, so you could put almost any fountain pen ink in there. Not really ones with shimmer or that sort of thing. It will clog it. And I was loving it, but this particular nib or tip, whatever you want to call it, I don't know if you can see it there. In fact, let's try and get it so you can see it, because it's already, it already seems like it's coming apart. Now, admittedly, I do have a heavy hand, so it's probably not the ideal writing instrument for me. But I've purposefully been not using as much pressure. So it kind of surprises me that the tip is already kind of having issues. And it really comes out in the writing sample there. I mean, that looks horrible. That looks really, truly horrible. So that's kind of a disappointment. But anyway, this has been my June 19, 2021 inked pens. And so I'll be using these for quite some time. When these eyedropper fills, I mean, you put ink in there and it's gonna last you a long time. I've been working on this one for a while, and it's hard to tell because the ink really coats the walls there, but it's been going for a while. Well, essentially since December 2020. And this one I inked up more recently. That's going to be going for a while. They just hold so much ink. And of course, this is similar. It seems like it doesn't hold as much ink though. The ink chamber in this is actually pretty darn small, considering, you know, the girth of the pen. But still, it holds a significant amount in there. So that's gonna last a while too, but I have no complaints there. Anyway, there you go. Hopefully you like this sort of video. I think, I'm not sure how often I'll do these types of videos, but certainly if there's significant changes in the pens that I'm using, I will do another one of these. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.